لله رب العالمين والعاقبة للمتقين والصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحان الذي أسرى بعبده ليلا من المسجد الحرام إلى المسجد الأقصى الذي باركنا حوله لنريه من آياتنا إنه هو السميع البصير صدق الله العظيم وصدق رسوله النبي الكريم. Respected brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned in the Quran Subhanalladhi, which literally meaning praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's principle whenever He wants to talk about His beloved Habib, Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, and particularly if there is something significant, like the significance of the fadila of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, he usually praised himself, as we can see in the surah of Al-Kawthar, Inna a'tainaka al-Kawthar. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala starting this surah by saying, I am the one who gave this khair kasir to my beloved Habib. So from this point we can see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wanted to tell the whole world that I am the one. So nobody can have any doubt, because the people of Makkah usually used to say that Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam himself made this ayah of the Quran and come to us and said, oh, this is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wahi of Allah. So people of Makkah, the kuffar, they used to say this one. And of course there is a challenge, open challenge in the Quran regarding that matter as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to them, which is in Surah Baqarah, that you go and call all your helper as well and supporter as well. If you think that this is not my kalam, this is not my word, then you go and bring it a surah similar to Quran. Of course, that is the challenge in the Quran. But here we are talking about this very great story, a very great event in the history of Islam, and especially in the life of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam, which is mentioned as Miraj and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala praise, like say Subhan, like praise be to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All praise belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That is His sifati name. That is His sifati name, attributing name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As we can see, Ar-Rahman, Ar-Rahim, those names are also sifati name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is also Subhan, is also the sifati name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which means praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. All glory belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Alladhi, Alladhi basically is a ism mawsul and can be used for many things. Alright? But here, this is a specific meaning that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying that I am the one, Alladhi, Subhanalladhi Asra, as you can see. Asra, basically, as Maulana mentioned before, the journey from إلى المسجد الحرام to من المسجد الحرام to إلى المسجد الأقصى is called, this journey is called Asra. Okay, Isra is well we say, alright. And from Masjid al-Aqsa to seventh heaven is called Miraj. And then from Sidratul Muntaha to Da Makan, alright, that is called a Raj. So there's three categories of the journey. So three categories and three aspects of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's life is well. The journey from Masjid al-Haram to Masjid al-Aqsa, basically this journey is Bashariyat, you know. Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam met physically with all the prophets were present at Masjid al-Aqsa, waiting for Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So the physically appearance of our grand Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam at Masjid al-Aqsa basically show us that his bashariyat, alright, his as a abd, he was there present with them, alright. And then from there, when from Masjid al-Aqsa to Sidratul Muntaha, that is called his Nuraniyat, because he was among the Anbiya, and Anbiya, Bashar is the one, Abd basically is the one which has a ruh and jism both together. That is in Arabic language, if they use in the Arabic country, if they want to explain someone, they say Abd. Abd does not mean that only ruh, because this is for those people who say this journey was only in the dream of Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Because some people do say that that was not physical Miraj, that was just a dream. So you can see ulama and mufassirin, they say these words are very important, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say Biruh Muhammad, because if it was a ruh, or if it was a dream of Sayyidina Rasulullah, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could say, he spiritually, as some people explain, that was the journey of spiritual journey. Physically, Prophet Allah did not go and see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is logically, if we see the Quran, because it is quite clear in the Quran, Allah used word bi'abdihi, and the word bi'abdihi basically only is spoken for those who have jism and ruh together. That is the Arab people used to say. Right? If it is only ruh, someone is, has a ruh, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala could say Biruh Muhammadi. So he didn't say Biruh, he said bi'abdihi. And then that is also very important point here. We can see, if you little bit know about Arabic language, that the Tamir, he, Allah used, which refers to, scholars say, could be Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, bi abdihi. Right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say, I took, because there are many abd. Okay? There are different type of abd. Right? We all are abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we are abd. But Allah says here, abdihi, my abd, my heart abd. And that is the title of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically saying, Alladhi can be used for many things, can be used for everything actually, but here Alladhi refers to only the one who is akmal and kamil and mukammal, perfect, and that is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And there are many abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but abd, he is only who? The one who is mukammal, kamil and akmal, and that is Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, perfect abd of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that is also very important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would say the Rasulihi, because Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the Rasul of Allah. So I'm just giving you to think about that, to have a think on these words. Allah would say the Rasulihi. بِنَبِيِّهِ could say the word. But ulama has said why the hikmah behind using bi'abdihi is that Rasul actually come from Allah to the human being, and abd goes from human being to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is another reason and wisdom behind that. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and another wisdom in that Allah used bi'abdihi because people can see that there is no difference between Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Sayyidina Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, except that he is ma'bud, he is abd. So that is because we can see when the people, the ummah of Musa alayhi salatu wa taslim, you know, the Yahud, they said that وَقَالَتِ الْيَهُودُ عُزَيْرٌ ibn Allah. They say that Hazrat Uzair alayhi salatu wa taslim, they associated Uzair alayhi salatu wa taslim with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and committed shirk, because they elevated so high. And then Isa alayhi salatu wa taslim, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave this miraculous birth, Hazrat Maryam alayhi salam, without a father, and then they elevated, the Christian elevated Isa alayhi salam and made him a son of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So both these nations committed shirk. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala using the special word, particular word in the Quran and saying, Subhanallah, I am the one who took his abdiqah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So nobody can criticize that Sayyidina Rasulullah himself made all this story, that he went to seven heaven, he visited hell, and he visited seven heaven and Jannah, and he saw different prophets. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying, you cannot criticize, because this is not him, this is me who took my arm and showed him all my signs. And you can see the further ayah, Subhanallah asra bi'abdihi laylan min al-masjid al-haram. This journey, not the whole night. This journey happened only a small portion of that night. Laylan, just a small portion of that night. Min al-masjid al-haram ila al-masjid al-aqsa. And then further, alladhi barakna. Here is also very important point. The Mufassirin said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say that fihi, there is a barakah in it. Because if fihi we use, as we can see in the Arabic, so we can say there is a barakah in it. Where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, barakna hawlahu. The barakah around that place, inside of that place, outside of that place, everywhere the barakah and rahmah with the Masjid al-Aqsa, full of rahmah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Barakna hawlahu, because all the prophets from Adam alayhi salatu wa taslim to Sayyidina Isa ala nabiyyina were present there. Before I mention further, let me explain to you something here. You know, Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wa taslim requested Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, give me strength so I can see you. Subhanallah. Grant me your vision, O Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that is mentioned in the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, قَالَ لَمْ تَرَانِي. Hey Musa, tu mujhe dekh nahi sakta. You cannot see me. But here is also very important, because Arabic language is, subhanallah, is very vast and very comprehensive language. Allah did not say, قَالَ إِنِّي أَرَى, that I cannot be seen. There's the difference. Allah said, "Hey Musa, oh Musa, you cannot see me." That is only specific to Musa alayhi salatu wa taslim. But Allah did not say the word like I cannot be seen. Because there's a difference. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knew that Musa, you cannot see. Because I have not given this privilege to you. But there would be a Nabi, there would be a Rasul, there would be a Habib. My Habib, I would have given my privilege to that prophet who will come after Isa ala nabiyyina, and I will take him and show and give my vision to him. So that's why Allah subhanahu, because the Quran is subhanallah, I mean we know